I was wrong. I'm gonna chop this gum the whole time.
Well, spit it out. It's already gross.
It's disgusting.
Put it under your tongue.
You.
Yeah, swallow it.
Ew, that's worse.
You
Gum?
cannot be serious. That comes up your butthole.
I swallow gum all the time.
Molly has a backed up intestine.
Molly.
Small and large.
What? Hi.
Possibly all the way to her stomach. How many pieces of gum have you... When's the last time you threw away a piece of gum? I cannot. I cannot. I am physically ill.
Yeah, I cannot swallow gum on purpose.
I mean, I don't do it all the time, but if, like, I'm chewing gum and there's not a trash can nearby, I'll just swallow
I would rather
it.
spit it on the floor. Like, I would rather hold it in my hand and walk around with it.
What do you mean you swallow gum all the time?
I mean, like, I don't chew gum all the time, but, like, I will swallow gum. Like, it's not an issue. Like, if I'm somewhere where I can't throw it away, I just swallow it.
I'm very upset by this revelation that we've just had.
Hello and welcome back to Our 3 Cents. It's your favorite podcast on the internet. I'm Bailey.
I'm Laura.
I'm Molly.
Ladies, how are we doing this week?
Horrible.
Okay. Well, then you go last. Laura, how are you? You seem unsure.
It's not good, but it's not, like, bad.
Some medium. Do we want to go depressing to happy or happy to depressing?
Are you happy?
We don't have to talk.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about my week, so.
Okay.
I don't really care to either.
You're just gonna say you're sad. That's fine.
I'm not happy.
Uh-huh. No, I was talking to Molly.
So Bailey, you're the only happy one here.
I have a Lenny's Rewards card, and it was time for me to get a free sub when I went today, so I got a free sub, and so I got a large drink, since that's all I was paying for, and the guy gave me that for free, too. He was like, oh, I'm not gonna charge you, so here's your stuff back.
Oh, that's so nice.
Like,
so
thank you.
I
I
love
was
when
like,
people do that.
Random
I love
acts of
that.
kindness.
I love when people do that.
Have
Have you ever gotten to pay it forward or not pay it forward? Like,
no, but
has anybody ever paid for yourself in the drive-thru?
No.
I have. I got that at Strange Brew in Starkville. Somebody did brew it forward, and I was like...
Brew it for you. Have you ever done...
Then did you return it?
Yeah, have you ever done it to somebody? Molly, you're messing up the karma string, or well, it's karma.
Yeah, the karma string.
Well, if you started doing that, then you would... If, like, everybody was supposed to be doing that, then everybody would be paying for each other's drinks. Like, it would just be a continuous line of...
Yeah.
It doesn't happen that often. I always worry, because, like, if I go get, like, a drink...
Yeah.
Or something from, like, Starbucks or anywhere... I always think about doing it, but I'm always worried that it's going to be, like, the person behind me is going to buy it for
like
the whole
6
office.
kids, yeah.
And I don't want to have to say, oh, I'll buy the person behind me, and then them say it's, like, $30, and me have to be like...
Never mind.
That's why you don't... I thought, like, the way the person did it in front of me, they paid for their drink. I think they just doubled it. So, like, if I happen to get, like, their same drink, then it would be free. I mean, like, whatever I got, it was, like, 30 cents extra, and the girl was just like, don't worry about it.
I think that's maybe just them, but I've heard of, like, fast food places, like, say you paid for Laura's, and Laura was like, oh, that's so nice, and then Laura ends up paying for mine. That, like, people just keep chains going over a long time. So, like, you're still paying for stuff, but, like, it's neat.
not yours, and it's
fine.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice that you got a free drink.
Thank you, it was nice. Probably because I'm a regular there. He mostly knew my order. They definitely know my name. The chicken teriyaki Philly, 7.5-inch white bread. No onions, no tomato, just cheese, lettuce, and mayo.
That actually sounds really good.
It is. It's very good. I love a
I'm
Lenny's.
so full right now. Nothing's
I love Philly cheesesteaks, but I hate the onions and bell peppers, and I feel like I feel very, like, unauthentic whenever I'm like, can I get a Philly cheesesteak, but without all of the stuff that's supposed to add flavor?
I mean, I make my steak chicken, so, like, I'm not...
I get just meat and cheese on any Philly that I get.
Yeah. But really, that's it. No stories from either of you?
I'm really trying to think
not
of
good stories.
Not good stories. Okay.
I've been very stressed all week.
Nothing.
Okay.
I've been very bored all week.
Okay.
I'm ready for the weekend, I think.
Oh, I'm going to Florida this weekend.
For what? Hello.
Sam's grandparents. We're going to visit Sam's grandparents. His
Neat.
grandfather had spinal surgery. He'll correct me if that's wrong. Recently-ish.
You going to the Panhandle, or?
It's like right into Alabama.
That's cool.
But yeah, he had spinal surgery recently, and they're like every grandparent that wants you to come visit, but they're so far away.
They're just in Florida, right?
And we don't. I mean, I'm not about to drive down for a day on a normal weekend.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's right. Hey,
Labor Day.
We got a Labor Day weekend, guys. Yeah. 3-day weekend. Ladies.
Gentlemen.
Are there any of those present?
I mean, I'm not going to say yes or no. I don't know.
Okay. So this weekend, I went to our local Japanese restaurant, got some takeout food. Had the question that I always do when I get takeout from this specific restaurant. Am I supposed to tip? Should I be tipping? Went out last night to office trivia with Laura. A couple of our guy friends were making fun of one of the others because he left a $2 tip.
Do you know how much his bill was?
Well, hang on.
Okay.
Because that might affect it. They were kind of like, that seems kind of stingy. I left a $2 tip.
I have words to say about the other two people.
Well, the other one of them was Sam, and you guys all know Sam. But like $2 was 20% of my tip, which just, these situations bring me to my broad confusion, which is tipping is a social thing, and I'm not good with those, and there's no set rule for them. And it's different everywhere. There are just so many questions I have. Ladies, how do you tip?
$2.
Every time?
We're going to leave Molly alone for a second and let her think what she's about to say. And go.
Laura, explain the bill from last time.
So, we went
Was it high? I thought I only got like one beer.
How many beers did he get? Because if he got 3, like Sam did, Sam's bill was $13.72.
I don't think he had more than 2 that I saw. I don't know.
Divide around $4 each. 4 something.
That would be So his bill was $8 to $12.
So what I always do. So I've had a lot of friends in the service industry, and they always say, or they have in the past like 5 to 10 years said that 20% is the new normal. And like when we were in high school and probably like learning to tip, 15% was like what our parents would tip because that was the normal.
Yeah.
But now it's 20 because cost of living's higher.
Right.
Everything's more expensive, blah, blah, blah. So I always tip at least 20%. And like sometimes I'll tip lower if it's like, no, you're an asshole. Like last night we talked about how nothing makes me more mad than when a waitress comes to the table and like if you doesn't write it down and then gets it wrong. Like if you write it down and get it wrong, it's like that could have been the kitchen, that could have been a mistake, whatever. If you don't write it down and get it wrong, I'm placing all of the blame on you. You could have written it down and you could have been fine, but you thought you were cocky. Yeah. You thought you knew.
And I don't think she got anything wrong. She did have to come back like a minute later and ask someone what they got.
But so when our friend only tipped $2, people were making like poking at him. Not serious, but it was like whatever. Yeah. The other guy there does things above.
Oh, really?
To like
to show off,
kinda. So it's like him saying that to this other guy,
but he's the one about the bucket, right?
Yeah.
So his was a lot more.
It should have been, but he probably didn't tip. I mean, I don't know, but he probably didn't tip 20%. Okay. I don't know. I didn't look at his.
I only heard him because he did physical cash, and they were drawing on the dollar bills at the table.
Oh, no, my mantra is 20% always, and then an easy way to do 20% is to either take the decimal point wherever it is and move it over 1.
And then times 2.
And then double it. Or you lay $1 down for every $5 you spend. So
interesting.
If you spend $5, you give $1 tip. If you spend $10, you give $2 tip.
Look at that good math, Laura.
Y'all are welcome. Now you're gonna feel bad every time you don't because you're gonna know.
I know, no. Well, that's the thing. So at this place where I called in an order, went and picked up the food, do I need to tip them? Because sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's just how I'm feeling in the moment.
I used to work at a restaurant, and people would, very briefly, people would like bitch at people for not tipping when they did takeout orders.
I get why service people get mad, but I don't see...
I get why you shouldn't, I get why you shouldn't, because technically you just bagged it up.
I've never been in the service industry.
Right, that's my problem too.
I don't... I know a lot of people who have, but what we normally talk about is like table tipping. Like I sat down, I had a meal, you brought it to me, you like served me.
Yes.
I don't know, this is going to sound bad, what people in takeout did to deserve a tip. Like,
no,
the kitchen cooked
that's what I'm
it.
right. Mm-hmm.
Someone took it from its cooking place.
Yes.
Put it in containers, put it in a bag, sat it on a shelf. I walked in, I took it off its shelf, and walked out.
Well, and if that's the idea behind tipping is, quote unquote, how well someone did, then they didn't, like, do anything to get graded on. So, like...
I think that was the point of tipping. I thought the point of tipping was that that's, like, half of their money anyway, isn't it?
That's
like,
servers don't
That's something I want to get to. I don't want to get to yet. I want to talk...
Like, I guess what Bailey's trying to ask is, like, what is the point of tipping? Like, without money, like, without their wages involved, what are you tipping for?
Or, here's another one. Sonic threw me off for a very long time. Like, when I first started driving. I know, it always feels like you should tip your car hop, who's, like, bringing you your food, sometimes roller skating it out to you. But I think tipping is not the norm there. I think it's, like, a special case.
Well,
and I've looked it up. I think they get paid normal wages.
Sometimes.
On top of tips. Yeah, I guess it depends.
Sometimes. A lot of them still live on their tips.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also...
When I say normal, I don't mean, like, above minimum wage. I mean not the, like, $2 thing.
I know a lot of people who worked at Sonic and would talk mad shit about people who didn't tip. And would, like...
Really?
Like, if you were coming, they would be like, I'm not taking their car because they don't tip. Like, I know people like that.
Interesting.
And because we live in a small town and everybody works there that we know,
right?
I'll pull up and, like, the one person that I know that's working there will bring me my food. I have $1 out, no matter what it is. Because, like, I normally, if I have $1, I'll tip $1. Even if I pay with my card.
Yeah.
And I have the $1 out, and then I'll see a person I know coming up, and it's like, do I, like, obviously reach in my purse and get another $1 out and let them know that I'm only tipping because I know you. I'm only tipping to save face. Or do I give them the $1 and be like, thanks for almost dying on roller skates in a parking lot to bring me my overpriced hamburger?
Yes. Or, a lot of times I'm like, oh, they can keep my change, but a lot of time if the change is like 10 cents, I don't want to be like, no, don't keep.
Yeah,
like, just in general.
Do not keep my dime.
Sometimes they'll be like giving me my pennies back.
They give it back super fast.
Well, it's like 2 pennies, and I'm like, I don't want to tell you to keep the change, and you think that I'm trying to give you a 2-cent tip. I just don't want the pennies. So I'm like, just give it to me, I'll take it, so you don't think I'm like the worst.
I have like a thing about Sonic where if it's like early morning, really freaking busy or really freaking hot, I'll tip. Okay. But if it's like, I'm going to get, like, they came out with those pretzel twist things, and I'll go get one of those, and it's literally $2, and I'm like, I'm not about to tip you for a pretzel when I'm gonna park really near the door if I can, or whatever, and so I don't tip if it's like, you didn't have to go very far, it's not hot, and I'm the only person in the parking lot, I'm not about to tip you.
Yeah.
Like, never worked in service industry, never worked at Sonic, don't know what the protocol is, very sorry if I'm offended.
Yeah. A lot of times I feel like I'll overtip to, like,
I overtip
correct. Like, oh, like, here's another thing, we're just talking about food, but when you get your hair cut, that's a place where you can, like, definitely tip.
I overtip, oh my god, I overtip because they deal with my head. I would rather eat somebody's spit than somebody cut my hair up wrong.
So I think the last time I went to get a haircut, she asked, I think it was like $15. She said, do you want me to run it for $15?
$15?
Yeah.
That's how much you get your haircut for?
I think so.
Yeah, that's like super cheap.
Yeah.
I spend around $110 every time I go.
But do you get it like colored and stuff every time? Yeah.
And why?
Just a regular cut for me is like $25.
I don't ever go and get a regular cut. I don't think I've ever gone. Never mind. Not important.
Anyway, it was $15, and she said, do you want me to run it for $15? Which, by the way, is the weirdest way to ask, are you going to tip me?
You don't want them to say that. They're not going to say that. That's not something they're
going to say. Well, that's true, but I was like, no, run it for $20, because that just rounds up. But if you think about it, that's a $5 tip on $15. That's like 33%, which is really... I don't mind paying $20 for the haircut, her get 5 tips, but, like, that's just, like, one spot where I'm like, this isn't right. I overcorrected.
See,
sometimes I undercorrect.
She's got an app on her phone that asks you. Well, she does that Square app, I think, on her phone, and so she swipes my card, and it, like, pops up with, like, tip amounts.
Yeah,
so
and you can scroll.
Super easy.
Yeah.
That is good. Unless you weren't going to tip her, in which case...
Well, you can put 0.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
She'll know, though.
It's like the thing on Olive Garden that they have little kiosk thing that they set on the tables now?
I don't go to Olive Garden, but I trust you.
You could be wrong.
What are some? I feel like there are lots of
You said something about like when I went to Europe, most European countries don't tip.
Yeah, so do we want to talk about like why we tip, and is that like other countries? Because I looked it up today to see like how regular it is.
Just like surface level,
yeah.
Other countries pay people more livable wages than what we pay. Like,
yes.
Our average server gets paid $2
yes.
an hour. Other countries get paid fairly.
Right.
Ish. Whatever. I mean, view that how you view it. But at least minimum wage, and it's seen as rude to tip. Because
I saw that.
Like, the way that somebody described it one time was that, like, you're paying them to treat you like you're holding it over their head. Like, if you do a good job, you get to eat tonight. And, like, so in another country, it's like, I'm doing this because it's my job. I'm doing this to serve you. Like, this just happens to be my job. I don't need your money.
I saw in Japan where if you, like, just left, like, money, like, open on the table, that would be, like, super rude. Like, they have special, like, envelopes for, like, giving gifts of money. Like, not necessarily for tipping, but, like, in other situations. So, like, just having money out on the table, like we do all the time here, would be, like, super offensive.
In France, it was, like, you never tipped. And it was very rude. Whatever.
I looked it up. The only countries I can remember that said they tip kind of similar to us was, like, Canada's kind of similar, and then maybe somewhere in the UK.
Canada was... Because the 2 Canadian girls that I hung out with a lot in Paris, we all 3 had a really hard time while we were traveling not tipping. Like,
yeah, did you ever tip anywhere?
Sometimes, yeah, because it was like, I don't know, and I want it, like, I would rather be offensive and somebody get more money than be offensive and not get them you know, money, like, at some point it's like, well, at least this can go to somebody.
Yeah.
And, like, they would tip.
That was the thing.
And I'm like, I'm not going to be the one person that's like, I'm going to follow country code and not.
Yeah.
When it's like, I don't know this country, because we traveled all over. So it was like, I have no idea if Lisbon, Portugal tips.
Yeah. And it was in a lot of countries, like, if they're tips, they go to, like, the manager or the business owner, or, like, they're way different rules. But think about, so you being a tipper, going to countries that don't tip, think about people who come over here. Like, that's got to be crazy, because there's no, like, set thing. It should just be, that's what it was. A lot of countries just had, like, a service charge included. Like, why don't we just include a tip already? And then...
Or, you know, why don't we just pay people?
Yeah, why is it okay for us to pay servers $2?
I really don't know.
Because they make it up in tips, like...
But there's no way to... Well, sometimes there's no way to see that, because of the casino, like, servers and... all of the people who you would come in contact with at a casino, except for, like, management, got tips. So, like, everybody that worked at the buffet, all of the cocktail waitresses, servers, bartenders, people at card tables, like, you tipped your card dealer to... Not, like, I mean, they obviously couldn't cheat for you, but they would, like, help you. Yeah. Like, especially if you were, like, a new person playing, and they were like, you should not do anything, I know what's... Like, that type of thing. Yeah. And if you won, like, the dealer wants you to win, because you'll tip, like...
more,
15% of what you won to them. Like, that's kind of how that went. And, like, you tip cocktail waitresses, because all drinks at casinos are free, but you're going to tip the cocktail waitress, because if she doesn't come bring you your drink, you don't get a drink. And if you're not tipping her, why would she bring you a drink? Right. Like, even if you'd ordered one, it's fucking free. No one's bringing you it. So, like, they, on our little check-in, or clock-in thing, were told, like, it had a, do you want to claim your tips? Is that what it's called? Register your tips, whatever it is. And on that way, you had to pay it off in taxes, and the other way, you got to keep them, but it was, like, it didn't balance out. So if, like, if you showed that you made that much, your taxes went up or something, but if you didn't, you were still getting paid $2, and that was never going to change. And so it was like, I don't get it.
Well, then, and there's another thing that my boyfriend went and got the food with me, and I brought up how I'm always, like, confused on if I should tip or not there. And so we were talking about that, and I brought up how, why is it on us, like, customers to determine, like, oh, you did a really good job, so you get $50 tonight because we're all gonna tip really well, or, like, why are people getting wages based on, like, how good you do at your job, but not, like, getting a raise, like, varying each night.
I saw a story one time, and it could have been fake, but it was, like, this family went out, and there was the dad who, at the beginning of the night, took out, like, $20 in ones and put it on the table, and the girl came by and, like, forgot something or did something wrong, and he took $2 away,
you were gonna say,
and she
bad.
noticed, and so she, like, kept being, like, really observant, and he put $1 back, and then she did something else, and he took $1 away, and it was like that the whole night.
And if that's true, that's, like,
if it's true,
super
it's like,
awful.
No.
That's
like,
the worst.
But if it's not, I mean,
yeah, that's awful.
Story.
I'd be so pissed.
Yeah,
I would spit in your food, in your face.
Yeah, and I was just saying,
I'd be like, what was I gonna get from this anyways?
Yeah, tips definitely shouldn't be something that people can, like, hold over your head. And when I was looking on just, like, Wikipedia for other countries, for the United States, they were like, in theory, it's based on how well you do, but then there's also stuff like race, age, gender, how nice of boobs you have is essentially what Wikipedia said.
Well,
almost in exactly those words.
Like,
yeah.
If a girl comes
if you're an attractive waitress, or if you're, like, not, or a dude, like, you probably won't make as much.
If a girl came over to a table full of guys that were getting drunk and whatever, and she paid special attention to them, and she had worn a lower cut shirt, and she had done everything, they are so much more likely to tip on, like, a regular looking girl who's not doing anything special, or a guy.
Or another guy, How much, you don't have to say, like, the money amount, but how much did you tip percentage-wise last night?
20, 21, something. Okay. Sometimes I do...
I thought you were saying you tipped $20.
Nope. Sometimes I do...
Forgot what I asked.
Depending on the actual amount, I will, if I can easily do the math in my head, I will round up to the next dollar.
Yeah.
So
you've told me that before. I'm like, that makes sense.
So, like, it'll be 20 plus a couple cents, like 20% plus a couple cents, because if I can do the math easily, it makes me happy to see zeros. But if I can't do the math in my head, I don't, and you just get 20%. And last night I was kind of not upset with the waitress, but just like
it was a very slow
it was
service.
a whole lot, and I was like, I'm not that enthralled by you. You're just gonna get 20%.
Yeah.
And no sip from last night. Also, I had to add Sam and my.
I was gonna say you had to do his
beer.
And I was
like, I don't need this in my life right now. There's too much adding.
Molly, you worked in the service industry for
like 2 days.
Very brief amount of time. How was your tipping?
You didn't even know me whenever I worked at a restaurant.
Go here.
Yeah, and I know it was very brief because you told us how you weren't good at it because you had to yell and you wouldn't yell.
Oh, that? Oh, I was not talking about that.
Oh, what were you talking about?
I was talking about after my freshman year of college, I worked as a hostess for, like, the entire summer. I was good at that.
Oh, good. Did you get tipped as a hostess?
Yeah, at my job I did.
Okay.
Most hostesses don't get tipped, but we...
I would never tip a hostess.
I was going to say, because you just bring them to the table and then they're gone for the rest of the night.
Like, what did you do for me?
Yeah.
You walked me somewhere I could walk myself.
We had to bus the tables.
Okay.
That sucks.
Yeah.
But then, okay, sorry.
No.
I want to, how did you get your tip then? Did you pick up the waitress's tip?
No, all the waitresses and waiters or whatever gave all their tips.
Was it a
pool? To our manager, and he, like, split them between all of us.
Oh, I hate that.
I was gonna say, I would hate that if I was in.
They got more than we did, but
they didn't get everything.
Yeah, they didn't get everything.
See, like, I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
As a consumer,
because if we are tipping you based on how well you did,
if I sat down and I had to think about, okay, who is this tip going to? Am I tipping the hostess, who was really nice when I walked in and who did seat us faster than she said she was going to, and who did have a nice, kind, friendly manner, and who I do know has to bust the table after we leave? She gets 20% of something, but I don't know how to gauge that 20%.
Yeah.
And then also, I'm going to pay around $15 for this meal, so I have to give 20% of that to the waitress because I asked for 15 ranches and she brought them all very speedily. And then, oh wait, the cooks also should get paid because they made all this food very well and it's very warm and it came out and this, that, and the other, so they get 15%.
I don't think cooks normally get tipped. They might have at your job when you were pooling, but I don't think...
I know some places that pool and they give it to everyone involved. So, like, busboys, hostess, server,
which, I mean, they
cook.
should.
But it's like,
in
as
theory,
a consumer, I am not about to do that math. So when I tip, I'm tipping strictly for the waitress, and knowing that she had to give it away is never going to equal out to... Especially if you're only tipping 15 now. she's never going to get 15. And so at this point, when it's like, you should be tipping 20%, she's not going to get anywhere. They, generalizing, never going to get anywhere near that.
Yeah.
Like, if you're giving 15, there's a pool, she's not even getting 15. And it's like, well, that 20% that, like, she should be getting because of cost of living is out the window.
Why don't we tip our fast food servers or people?
Well, they get paid more.
Okay.
Like,
it's like they're kind of doing the same thing.
That's another thing about your hairdresser thing. Mm-hmm. She doesn't get paid based $2. On commission. But she's also not getting paid $2.
Yeah.
Like, servers are getting paid $2.
Yeah. What was your tipping situation at the restaurant?
Oh, no, I can't remember, like, how the tipping stuff worked. But I just remember that being, like, a massive benefit for, like, being a hostess was that we still got tips, even though we weren't, like, waitresses. But we did do more work than just, like, normal hostesses. Yeah. Like, we still had to, like, bust tables. We would occasionally, like, help bring out food. Yeah. We would get refills. Like, we would walk around, and if we, like, noticed something, we'd be like, oh, can I get that for you? And
it just sucks that everybody probably thought you were just another waitress.
Yeah. The only thing different was that we weren't wearing those little, things.
Aprons?
Aprons.
Was the other place you worked at that I was talking about, was that a tipping place?
I think so. I really can't remember. I've blocked that out of my mind.
I was going to say, that was when you worked there for 2 days. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
It wasn't really 2 days.
It was like
how
a
long
month.
Was it?
I worked there for like a month. But
I don't know the answer to, like, no, I've done 20%. Continue.
No, I was thinking something else I meant to bring up was the people who take your garbage. That's apparently things that adults that are homeowners do, is you tip your garbage people at, like, Christmas time.
Oh, yeah, you put it in the mailbox?
I had no idea. No, until, like, I listened to some podcasts and they were talking about personally.
Mailman, garbage truck, recycling, your utility people. Uh-huh. Who, like, frequently come to your house and, like, do a service for you. Yeah. You're supposed to leave, like, you would leave it on the garbage can taped, or you would leave it on the recycling thing, or you put it in the mailbox.
Where are these tipping rules?
I don't know.
This is the first time I've ever heard this.
That's what I'm saying, and, like, you would never know if your garbage people were ever, like, expecting one from you.
Garbage and mail thing, I will say, is, like, a very old... Like, I'm even going to go back to, like, when milk was delivered. That was a very strong... Because, you actually knew who was delivering your mail. Yeah. You knew who was delivering your milk. You knew who was, like, doing all of these services for you. So when it came Christmas, and they were still doing it, because you don't... I mean, like...
You still need milk on Christmas.
You still need milk on Christmas. Your garbage still has to be done on the week of Christmas.
Especially
and, like... You would be like, thank you for doing this job that I definitely don't want to do.
Yeah.
It's essentially, that's what you're tipping anybody for, is like, I don't want to do this, that's why I'm coming here to pay you to do it, here's your payment. Doing the same thing, it's just like a nice, like, if you help me, I'll help you. Like, I'm going to tip you, thank you for getting my garbage on Christmas, or thank you for getting it before everybody else's, or thank you for this. Not as common now, and I will probably not be doing it. No. But yeah, I've heard about it. And I think my parents did it when we lived on, like, in small town America in Alabama.
Well,
I don't know the answer to that.
I just had a lot of confused thoughts about tipping.
And this didn't make it better.
No, but I'm glad we hashed it out and got it on the books. And it's hard. I
don't think it's ever going to be a set thing. I wish people were paid fairly.
Yeah.
So it would be less confusing, and it would be just an added benefit.
Yeah.
Of, like, a surprise. Like, when I worked at Disney, I got paid completely fine. I did not need tips. But a couple times people had given us stuff, and it was like, I never expected this. And it was like that extra thing of, like, I had done something really good to these people.
That would be like a true tip of what tipping is supposed to be. It's like, oh, you did good, let me give you something extra.
Yeah, that I was not expecting, that I was not banking on, that I was not depending on. Tipping is hard,
but enough.
20%. Pay our servers, lift up our wages.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But enough about tipping. It's time for the main event.
She's puffed up. She's so excited.
I'm really excited about this topic, and I think I'm not going to talk about it as much as you guys, as long as y'all don't, dive deep into everything I bring up.
Well, we will.
Has she ever listened to this podcast?
if we can keep every topic, every point I make short and sweet, we can get through this fairly quickly.
Can I finish?
We don't need to, and we won't.
If you were on Twitter, last week or so, last Wednesday. If you were on Twitter, you may have seen us retweet a poll from our very own Molly Morrow. The question was, 1, what is your gender? 2, can guys and girls be just friends? And Molly, what do you think the answer is?
So, I treated this like a
Nope, I wanted your opinion first.
No, I treated this like a scientific theory or whatever? What's it called? Is that what it is whenever you test something?
Scientific method that you do in middle school?
Yes, that. I treated it like that. I had my hypothesis.
Science experiment. You enter in the science fair? You want the blue ribbon?
All right,
I know. I wish I had thought of this back in elementary school. I would have had so many projects.
This is not science.
So what is your hypothesis?
My hypothesis was that the female would lead the yeses and the males would lead the nos.
Yes or no? Do you think men and women can just be friends?
Oh, I thought you were asking me my results for the poll.
No, I definitely, I explicitly
that was my scientific theory, the poll. Yes, I do think guys and girls can just be friends.
Molly, why were you so excited to talk about this? Because the podcast listeners don't know the behind-the-scenes excitement. They don't know that you've been chomping at the bit to tell us.
I've been best friends with this guy for like 3 years now.
Okay.
And last year, me, him, my other girlfriend were talking about how if he were to get into a relationship with somebody, then we wouldn't be friends with him anymore. And he was like, I don't want that to happen, but I know it's gonna happen. A few months ago, he got a girlfriend, and he made a point of telling me that things were going to change between us.
Mm-hmm.
And it really made me mad because I was like, you're making it sound like our friendship means something more than just a friendship. And it made me mad because I was like, and I understand the point. You can attack this question at several angles. So I understand where he's coming from. The guy's perspective, you're in a relationship, what girl is going to want their boyfriend talking to 2 other girls, all the time?
That's it just kind of makes my boyfriend specifically has 2 female friends who he does talk to a lot. Not as much as y'all, but they're not best friends. I'm his best friend, of course. But
I mean, I understand, you going to certain people for certain topics. That's what I do. I have certain friends that I go to for certain things.
Except for us, because you tell us everything, right?
Right. There are some people I tell everything to, and then there are some people that I go to for certain problems. Mm-hmm. So, whenever he told me this, I got really pissed, because I was like, why does this have to affect our friendship? It's fine. I understand that things change, and, he would, that he's going to go to her now instead of going to me for things because that's now his best friend. But,
yeah.
What?
I would just like to point out that I think both you don't, but me and Bailey both strongly feel like this person has feelings for you. So I think
yeah.
We're not diving into that, though.
No, we're not. But if this is your basis for guys and girls can't be friends. Yes, guys and girls. Oh, okay. Well, yes, guys and girls can be friends, but if a person in the friendship already wanted there to be feelings, they're obviously not going to want to be friends with you if they get in a relationship because they had unrequited feelings for you before they got in their current relationship. Yeah. So if they say you're a friend, it's like, well, I don't know.
No, I'm talking about 2 platonic friends the entire time through their relationship. I've had that.
Well, no. I think she's saying that you and this person were never.
Yeah, I meant you and this specific person.
But if that's the true case, then yes, they can.
I wanted to bring up that you also had this problem happen before, because I had forgotten about this one. I was thinking of that earlier story from your freshman year when you were really good friends with a guy.
Yeah, and his ex-girlfriend didn't like me.
Okay, well that is a little also different, a different situation.
But guys and girls probably didn't like her because she's a girl. And I think it does change when you get into in a relationship things change because of jealousy forms. Bailey and William are fucking weird. So, like, I'm not even gonna go there with them.
No, I'm not saying I haven't felt jealous of them, but it's a very specific, like, I recognize that is, like, a subconscious thing. Then when I feel that, I'm like...
You don't have to say that you're better than us. You can just be it.
No, I'm just saying, I know these two girls. I know how he talks about them. I don't think he's attracted to them in any way, and I'm not worried about a relationship. So when I'm like, oh, he's with a girl, I'm like, yeah... dumb emotions. He is. It's fine. Like,
see, I'm not jealous. Like, I'm not a jealous person. And Sam really doesn't have any friends that are girls.
I was just say I don't have a lot of guy friends.
So, like, I don't really have that. But even if they hadn't have hooked up, I think I would have a really hard time letting him be alone with another girl. Not because I don't trust him, not because I don't trust the girl, but because in my head, all hell's gonna break loose.
I think it also depends on the situation, like what they're doing. Like, if they're hanging out at the other person's house, just them two by themselves, that's weird. Like, anytime I hang out with one of my guy friends, just me and him, it's never just me and him unless we're out in public somewhere. So it's not like I'm like, oh, I'm going to go hang out at this guy's house, just me and him by myself. And even, it's just like, I go back and forth, because, like, from my side, I'm like, there's nothing going on. Like, don't worry about me hanging out with this dude. He doesn't like me, I know that. I don't like him, I know that. But then, like, and then again, and this is also me being jealous, but, like, if he was doing what I was doing, even if he claimed the exact same thing I did, I wouldn't believe it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
When it comes from you, it's the truth. When it comes from him, he's hiding everything.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that when you get in a relationship, things change and, like, your mentality changes. Because if you were in a friendship with a guy who wasn't in a relationship, and you also weren't in a relationship, you would never think twice about going out and hanging out with him, even at his house. Like, if Bailey was a guy and I did this, and I came over and had dinner with the guy's family or whatever, and we were just friends, and I didn't have a fiance, and he didn't have anybody, this would just be friends. Other people might think it would be romantic in some way, but that's not how we would see it, and that would be our business and whatever. But throwing in the knowledge that I'm in a relationship or he would be in a relationship, it would be like, oh, now this is weird. And it's not right or wrong, but the feelings and the change that comes with relationships, I can say that I'm not doing anything. I know that I'm not doing anything, and I can get mad at you for thinking that I'm doing something. But the moment you
don't trust me,
I have every single right to be upset, and I have every single right to question it. And do not get mad at me, because these are my emotions,
right?
And this is what's wrong with the world. So just you can face it, and we can.
What's the thing is that the world will always assume that if you're hanging out with the opposite sex a lot, that y'all are dating,
or that you're gonna date, or you're just pushing it down. You don't have to resent that you like him. You can. Just
exactly.
Heteronormativity is something I wanted to bring up.
I slid that right in.
yeah, cool, because that's why I'm sitting here thinking while y'all were talking about that. Just, it's always assumed, like, oh, all guys like all girls, and all girls like all guys. Like, men are always...
hang out together, you are in it for one reason.
Right, men are always attracted to women, women are always attracted to men. Forget gay people, and also forget that some people just aren't attracted to the same person.
Or anybody.
Yeah, or like, just because Molly's hanging out with one of her guy friends does not mean she's attracted to him in any way.
And I'm gonna support it. This is not what Molly was talking about.
No, I know. I feel like whenever people ask this question or talk about it, or like the, like friends with benefits and stuff like that, where it's like, oh, we're just gonna have sex. Oh, but someone always catches feelings. Like, different situation because you're adding in the benefits, but, like, guys and girls don't always have to catch feelings for each other.
Like, this kind of comes up in our friend zone topic that we were talking about.
Yeah.
We can't support, we can't abide by the rule that, like, if any of us said guys and girls can't be friends, would completely, like, negate what we said during the friend zone episode, because you can't. Like, guys and girls can be friends.
Yeah.
You can be friends with anybody. You don't have to have feelings just because you're
of the opposite
sex. Close quarters with the opposite sex.
Like,
right. We're not like cavemen. We don't get in the same room and our instincts take hold, and it's like, oh,
just a sex party.
I have to do something to that because we have to procreate because that's in my instincts.
Yeah.
Like, you can be compatible in friendship with people.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about what my Instagram and Twitter followers had to say into my poll. Because I also posted the poll on Instagram. So on Twitter, 66 people voted. 33 girls said yes. I counted 66 because of Javid and Sam.
Javid was the one I was missing. Okay.
33 girls said yes. 22 guys said yes. 4 girls said no. And 7 guys said no. And
so overall, only 11 people out of 66
said no.
Or no, 66?
Yeah, 66. Yeah. And it's almost the exact same
so 1/6
for Instagram.
On Twitter, on Instagram.
When the poll is still going, but I did this before we started. 36 girls said yes. 15 guys said yes. 5 girls said no. 6 guys said no.
So 11.
And
so the exact same.
And so I noticed
Can we talk about
that one of my best girlfriends said no. And she has multiple guy friends. And so I was like really intrigued. I knew what her answer was going to be, but so I messaged her and I was like, why did you say no? And she was like, should I explain?
Because I'm attracted to all of my friends.
Yeah, she's like, should I explain my life story? And I'm like, no, I know your life story. I was like, you can be friends with guys. Guys can't be friends with you. And she's like, exactly. She has so many guy friends that she does not see them romantically, but they all see her romantically. Like, she cannot hold a single guy friend because they all want to date her.
But then I feel like that brings us back into the friend zone. That explains why she says no, because in her life they can't.
So like that could be like me being like, oh, I can't, but like, because I was very surprised that any girl said no. But then I was thinking they're probably not thinking about themselves. They're probably thinking, and this is probably me being a little sexist, but they're probably thinking guys can't be friends with girls.
And I feel like that's kind of what most people think, too, whether it be us being sexist, reverse sexist, or just how that's society.
I would like to hear about it from a guy's perspective who said no, because either he's admitting that he's only ever been friends with a girl that he found attractive, and so he only ever started a relationship with feelings or caught feelings at some point, or he's doing the opposite, and he's saying that every girl I've ever been friends with has been interested in me.
Well, that's how, to your point, I don't want to say that all men...
Not all men.
Not just because I feel like this one is, like, too broad to say if it's more men or women, but in, like, media, it definitely is more men see women as more than a friend, but the women just see them as a friend, so the men have to overcome that obstacle. Like, that's how it usually goes in movie and TV.
Well, you don't see a lot of women.
And that's the story you hear in real life. Right, exactly.
Like, that's not a thing that women complain about.
Exactly. And that we touched about in the friend zone.
These results make sense to that effect. That I feel like, and I'm making a broad term because I don't think I've ever had this happen to me, but I also never told anybody that I ever liked them. Sam.
I'm glad you've told him.
You know, hey,
have you?
Have I told him?
Hey, Sam, let us know.
So
you know he's gonna text me and say no.
But so it's like I feel like women go through.
Women have to hide their feelings.
Like, no. Okay. Like if I told a guy that I liked him and he was like no, I'd be like. Okay.
Let me go die in a hole.
But I wouldn't complain about it being the friend zone, and then I feel like I would still try to be his friend.
Yeah.
And like there would be unrequited feelings, but I'm like, that's fine. I'll just sit here with my feelings, but I'm never gonna act on them again ever. And I will support you in your marriage and sit in the back and cry. Like
that's what I did with Javid. Whenever
guys don't seem to do that.
You sat in the back of Javid's wedding and cried?
No. I meant the first part. Whenever me and him were first, like, talking.
Oh, yeah.
We had our, like, kind of fade away moment. And I was like, this is fine. Like, it's whatever. But I still wanted to be his friend. So I still talked to him, like, almost every other day, if not every day. I found some way to, like, be in contact with him. But like I like worked so hard to repress those feelings that's why it's taken me so long still to feel completely comfortable in our relationship, because I suppressed those feelings so bad.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing that me and William were talking about is if you say no, guys and girls cannot be friends, are you just never friends with anyone you date? Like,
yeah, that's another thing. Like guys could be saying
friendship
no because
is
they're
a good
just
way.
friends with guys.
Do what?
Like guys could be saying no, girls and guys can't be friends because they're not friends with girls. Like
they might just
like
be
one
weird.
of the guys. Like one of the guys who said no, I was a little surprised, but I know he also has a lot of guy friends. So like I wonder if just like he's not gonna go hang out with his girl best friend one-on-one. Like he might have friends that are girls, but like nobody that he would go hang out with by himself unless he likes them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And like obviously if you're just doing like dating, like online dating, or just if you get set up with someone, no, you don't really have time to be their friend before you're like boyfriend and girlfriend, but friendship is a good way to like start off a relationship.
Well, I thought about this the other day, and it's like I don't have many guy friends. Like I can't like look.
No, I don't either.
Like I can't think about it and be like guy friends. Most of my guy friends have come from Sam.
I was gonna say my guy friends are Sam and that mutual friend that is Sam's friend.
Yes.
I would not hang out with this guy friend or Sam by themselves. Like it's always gonna be Laura is involved and we are all hanging out together.
And so like that's the thing is that I would but like
I could if I wanted to.
I don't think I would ever hang out with my guy friends without Sam there either, because he's the like bond.
Yes.
But so into my mind it's like, yeah, they can, but I just have any.
I mean,
so it's like
I don't have a lot of friends anyway, so I don't have an opportunity to make a lot of new guy friends.
Yeah, I do, like, I don't know.
I guess when I was in school, I had some that I was like
friends that were guys.
kind of friends with, but not like.
That's another thing.
I was an English major. It was a very
I'm having a hard time defining friend because I don't want to say somebody.
I would think
he's my friend, and then him be like, "You're not my friend.
I don't know you."
I would think it would be somebody you talk to.
Please don't put a date.
I guess not every day because I don't talk to my friends every day.
Please don't put a date on it because I will have no friends if you put a date.
No, I was gonna say somebody that you would go hang out with alone, or like. You would like be like, "Hey, let's do something."
Yeah.
Like,
I'm thinking, would I follow you on Twitter?
Oh no, that's too many.
Because it's like I have a lot of guy
like
friends, but I only have like 2 guy friends I would actually text and be like, "Hey, do you want to hang out?"
Including David?
No.
Okay. Because
that's interesting. Because I feel like you have a lot of girl and guy friends.
Because I can't think of a guy friend that I could text right now and be like, "Hey, do you want to hang out?"
Well, like the group I hang out with.
I could, but it'd be really awkward.
I have one.
The group I hang out with is mainly guys. So like I'm friends with all of them, but like none of them text me outside of like a group message.
So you just said that you have a group of friends that's mostly guys.
Mm-hmm.
So if you texted one of those that wasn't the 2 that you just said, you just like Joe. Let's say, he is in this group of friends, and you text, and you go to parties with him, you get drunk with him, you talk to him, you frisbeed with him, you're close to him, you know his middle name, you follow him on Twitter.
Is
and
that the
Instagram,
definition of friendship?
And Snapchat? It's a big deal.
You know someone's middle name.
I didn't know how to spell Molly's middle name. Did y'all?
That's
catch
true.
That?
We did.
Anyways, so you have a friend named Joe who's in this group and he is active, and you know him very well.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not one of those other 2 that you had mentioned that you, off the bat, you could text. If you texted Joe, do you think he would find it odd and think that you were into him if you asked him to hang out alone?
Well, does it matter that he's friends with Javid? Because the group of guys I hang out with,
different if he is or is not friends.
Person? Did I name
no, the group of guys I hang out with are also Javid's friends. So like. Like, that's how I met Javid, was through those group of friends.
Yeah. Well, maybe forgetting Javid, or if Javid didn't exist and you texted Joe and you didn't have a boyfriend, you weren't in a relationship.
Yeah.
Would he think it was odd, and or would he think...
What do you think it's a date?
not a date, but like, oh, Molly's into me. She made the first move.
Maybe that's happened to me a lot. Like, I've, like, very innocently asked people to hang out with me, and they thought I was, like, into them.
Yeah.
So I've gotten rejected when I wasn't trying to be rejected.
When you weren't offering.
You can't reject me. I wasn't offering you anything.
I don't know. Some of the guys I hang out with, they're like super chill, casual people. Like, they wouldn't think anything of it. And then there are other people who read way into things.
That's the thing. I hate that society trained us to read so far into relationships. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like, I can be friends with this man.
In theory, we say yes, but then, like, in practice, like, you know, maybe your girlfriend does get mad that you're...
Here's a thought. We all are in relationships.
Yes.
If you met a guy every single time.
Hello.
I get so scared. Heart attack, Connor. They're killed.
If you met a guy.
Yeah, so say you went out on a girls' night or something and met somebody in an innocent way and they started talking to you. It was a guy. Mm-hmm. You would automatically assume he was trying to hook up with you. Correct?
Oh, yes.
Well, I do think it's weird to make friends with the opposite sex new friends once you're in a relationship.
Does that
I feel like that logic doesn't make sense.
Like a close friend. Like,
right. Emotionally.
Let's say me and David are dating or whatever, and
you are dating.
Halfway through our relationship, I meet this guy and we start hanging out. That's weird.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, does that not constitute you believing that guys and girls can't be friends?
I guess I would need to be more specific in my question. Like,
is it can guys and girls be friends?
If you knew them before you were dating?
Yeah, if you knew them before the relationship.
If the girl and the guy have slept together, which we were talking about at the beginning.
But that kind of sucks because I started dating Sam in high school.
So you could have no new guy friends
in college.
No.
Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
I didn't make any, but that sucks. So, like, that's the thing. Is it like, can guys and girls be friends?
Well, this is what
are you gonna go out and get a guy friend? Like, if you met a guy,
y'all saw my interaction with my best guy friend on Twitter. He he saw the poll and he responded to it and said, "Is this going to decide whether we're friends or not?"
Which you said, and a good response.
Thank you. I think he thought I was serious because he got mad whenever I posted it on Instagram. He was like, "This is dumb," and I was like, "Why is it dumb?" And he was like, "This is an immature question. Like, at this point in our age, you should be allowed to be friends with guys or girls and it not matter."
Wow.
He's like, 3 to 5 years ago, this would have been a hot topic among our age group. He's like, and now it's not. If you say no, you're closed-minded and immature. He's like, we should all be open-minded now. And
yeah, I was going to say, someone sounds a little upset.
Well, he's like, I've been friends with girls since elementary school. And he's like, and I think it's stupid. He gets because me and him, 2 years ago, I kept posting pictures of us together so people would think we were dating, and all of his friends started picking on him for it, and he got super pissed and almost ruined our friendship because he was getting so, what I thought was offended at the fact that somebody thought we were dating, but he was just mad because, like, can't I just be friends with a girl without y'all assuming that we're dating?
And that's fine, but he can't blame, and he can, I'll give him that he can slightly, but, like, his friends didn't come up with that on their own. You know, like, y'all's mutual friends didn't look at you two and decide that you were dating. They saw it over centuries. Like, that's how we're trained to look at groups of people. But his defensiveness about the age that we are doesn't really make sense either, because this is the time when everybody's pairing off. And, like, he said, like, I mean,
if anything, like, it would be harder for guys and girls to be friends now.
And, like, you said he's your friend before, but to the naked eye, in what Javid acts like currently, Javid has a problem with one of your friends that you had before he started dating. Y'all started dating.
Did you tell this friend that this wasn't about him?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he was just being narcissistic.
I mean, no, I told him I was on his side, though. I was like, no, I agree. I think it's stupid that people, like, But, like, society's like that. Like, I do think that guys and girls can be friends. Like, I'm on your side. I don't know why you're getting so worked up over this.
Yeah.
But, and he, like, never responded to me or whatever, but.
He doesn't like to be wrong. I don't think anybody in their right mind would say no, but I feel like the people who say no are coming at it from a tried and failed mentality.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like your friend that's a girl, guys who have tried to be friends with girls and have gotten friend zoned.
Mm-hmm.
And other people like that who are like, yeah, no, I've tried it. I either catch feelings, they catch feelings, or they get a relationship and they don't want me to talk to them anymore because they think I'm a threat. Which is, I think, what a lot of people think. Like, I think David thinks that your friend's a threat. I think you think that his friend is a threat. Not, like, outwardly, but subconsciously, I think that's why we have a problem with people.
Your other guy friend thought his girlfriend would think you're a threat.
Yeah, like, if Sam got a friend that was a girl and started hanging out with her, I think, and almost said his name, I think his current friends that are guys are threats. Like, that's how relationships work, and I know he's not going to start dating them. Like,
yeah, exactly.
But that's how it is. Like, you just...
The good thing is that all of our boyfriends think that guys and girls can just be friends.
But I bet... Actually, no, Sam's, like, the least jealous person. Is our synopsis that we don't know if girls and guys can be friends?
I think our synopsis is we thought we knew, but then we found so many exceptions.
I told you this, and you can attack this question from so many different angles. Like, it's so hard to, like... It's like, you can, but...
okay.
That's the thing, you can, but. Like, go ahead, but it probably might not a little bit work out.
It just depends on how both parties are. I don't know.
It's also so many people... Do you want to talk?
I want to give what I think is an accurate summary of what we
I was just going to say that you're dealing with multiple people's brains and multiple people's feelings. So,
yes.
So I can think that girls and guys can be friends, but if I get a friend with a guy who's like, oh no, girls and guys can't be friends, and it's like, well, this is fucking screwed from the beginning, but we're not going to know that until 6 months down the road because I don't know how you feel about this topic.
Yeah, that's another thing is that you learn things about... Like, I learn things about my guy friends, and I'm like, I don't want to date you. Like,
but they might not know that, because you're not just going to outwardly say that. You're not just going to walk up to Jerry and be like, don't want to date you, because you're kind of a skis ball. And so in his mind, it's like, me and Molly could be a thing, so we're going to be friends, but we can also be a thing. And Molly's over there like, fucking grease ball.
But Jerry could be thinking the same thing about me. It's like we both have this, like, agreement that, like, there's qualities about ourselves that, like, we would not want to date.
Yeah.
Not to mention, Jerry is emotionally constipated, but that's another topic.
That's a fun word.
Pot to kettle. Okay, Bailey's turn. Bailey's turn. Okay. Overall, yes, guys and girls can be friends. If you think otherwise, then you may just be assuming that we all just think of each other as sex objects.
Or have had a bad experience.
Well, I said maybe.
Okay.
But with real people's emotions, people get jealous. People have had their own experiences. Maybe you really can't not be attracted to the opposite sex. Maybe you just really do fall in love with anyone who you become friends with.
I think attraction's better than
definition
in the context that you're saying.
Yes, attraction. Sorry. Well, I don't know. You might fall in love with all your friends just because you're like,
attraction's
we're
like
so
an
close.
instinct, and love is like cat feelings for the youths.
So, yes, they can just be friends, but then real life can get messy, and sometimes it doesn't work that way.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Took you a while to come to that. Yes.
Well, no, I agree. Yes. It's just weird. It's a weird topic. It's like a weird thing to think about. Everybody said yes, but what would they have said if they had discussed it?
If we had presented you with this scenario, like, what about in this situation?
Yeah, like if she had said, what's your relationship status? And do you think girls and guys can be friends?
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to know how many people who voted were, like, in a relationship or not, because I do think that could sway your answer.
Or, like, if you're in a relationship and your significant other had a friend of the opposite sex, would you let them
go
to the movies together? Like, because that's a very innocent thing. Like, there's a lot of movies that Sam watches that I'm not interested in. If he had a girlfriend, like, he goes to the movies all the time with his guy friends. If he had a girlfriend that was interested in those movies, I would feel hella uncomfortable with him going with her.
Right, but only because
she's a girl.
Right. Sam's not gay. We know he's not gonna fall in love with his guy friends. Well, we know he's not gonna leave you for his guy friends. I think we got it. Molly, do you feel like this was your baby?
Was it adequate?
Do you feel like we got it?
Yeah, I think we got it. I just wanted people, like, it seems like an obvious answer. But it's so much more complex than that.
You know, I'll give you that. You're right.
I think that was my main point, is what I was trying to prove, is that
you were right.
It is, and also I wanted to prove my friend wrong about it not being relevant. Like, it's still relevant.
Oh yeah, but that came.
I love proving that friend wrong.
There's not a time limit on this discussion. You will deal with this your entire life. Being with somebody who's friends with the opposite sex, you will constantly have to deal with that.
I don't know what we got, but we got it.
We got something. We definitely got something. We got to go to bed soon.
I'm so tired.
Do we want to get out of here then?
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, that turned out to be a much more nuanced conversation about guys and girls being friends than I expected, frankly. But so let us know, we know we ran this poll, but now that you've kind of heard
the exceptions,
our situations, maybe you have like your own situations or like your own experiences that you want to throw out, and we'd love to hear those.
And about tipping. How much do you
tip? About tipping. Tell us how to tip. What are your tipping
Tell
rules?
us how to tip.
Tell us both.
Can that be our end? Like,
share.
Tell us how to do what we're doing wrong, because we didn't figure it out.
Yeah, we didn't figure it out, but we didn't really figure either of our things out. We did not learn how to tip, and we did not really learn if guys and girls can be friends. But that's not what you come here for on Our 3 Cents.
Come here for confusion.
You come here for
that is very true. You do come for our confusion.
And if you want to see more of our confusion, you can follow us on Twitter at ourthreecentspod. That is with the number 3. Or you can email us any questions, corrections, complaints. But if you do the last one, I might cry. But if we deserve it, send them our way.
Don't complain. That's so rude.
At our3cents@gmail.com. That's 3 with the word all spelled out. You can find us and subscribe and like us and comment.
And review.
On SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. The links to all those are always in the episode descriptions. Thank you to Kevin MacLeod for the use of our theme song, Digital Lemonade. Until next time, I'm Bailey.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Molly.
Goodbye.
Bye.